वसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवके परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं. Chapter 3, verse 5. न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि न हि कश्चित् क्षणमपि जातो तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत् जातो तिष्ठत्यकर्मकृत् कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म कार्यते ह्यवशः कर्म सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः सर्वः प्रकृतिजैर्गुणैः. There is no one who can remain without action, even for a moment. Indeed, all beings are compelled to act by their qualities born of material nature. Three guna, sattva, raja, tama. And it says material nature, prakriti. So, basically, as we started from last week, Bhagavan very clearly mentions here and explains to Arjuna that you cannot remain without any action for a moment. In the second stanza, it says, Karede hyavasha karma sarva prakritir junaihi. Hyavasha means you are helpless, you are going to do as per your nature. So, everyone is made to act helplessly. You are going to do by the modes of nature, prakriti, because nature and its modes are ever active. Prakritehe kriyamani gunai karmani sarvashah. The same thing in 27th verse again Bhagavan says about Ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate. All activities are carried out by the three modes of material nature, but in ignorance the soul deluded by false identification with the body thinks or itself as the doer. Similarly, again in 29th verse, Bhagavan says, Samam pashyani sarvatra samavasthitamishwaram nahi hinasyatmanam tato yati param gatim. That's 29th verse in 13th chapter. Those who see God as Supreme Soul, equally present everywhere and in all living beings, do not degrade themselves by their mind. Thereby, they reach the supreme destination. So, one thing is very clearly Bhagavan has mentioned that as per the nature, the Prakriti, three gun, Sattva, Raja, Tama, right? You will not be able to stop yourself with the actions. So now one thing is understood and one thing is very clearly mentioned about the action. And furthermore, what Bhagavan has, what this verse specifically says, as per nature, the modes of your nature, which, as I explained you, three, Sattva, Raja, Tama, right? So, what should be our priority? To increase Sattva Guna. If we are more about the Tamo Guna, okay, all may be negative thoughts, negative opinion, okay, so at least we can start moving ourselves from Tamogun to Rajogun, and gradually from Rajogun to Sattvagun. And for that, that's why the wise man says that on the path of spirituality, you are your own examiner. Nobody else is going to tell you. Probably they will show you the path. But you have to walk yourself. If we know that, for our understanding, I am giving very simple examples to explain and to understand very nicely. Suppose I know that I am getting angry often. Okay. So, who is going to change that? I have to change. I have to change. I have to do the introspection for myself. And then I need to think how best I can improve. That is the beginning. Suppose I am always giving my opinion in a hurry. Who is going to change that? I will have to change that. So before I open my mouth for opinion for anybody, let me put a pause, think, and think about the both sides. Each story has two sides. Each rumor has two sides. Or what we in Gujarati we say Panchat. It has two sides. If I start doing that, then end of the day, I will be able to achieve. I will be able to reach the destination. So, from Tamogun to Rajogun, Rajogun to Sattvagun. Now, here, this is a matter of Prakriti nature. So, the Tamogun on its own is not bad. That's also necessary for one's life. And if we look for the whole Gita, it doesn't take you to the extreme. Instead, it tells about the balance. For the example, I'm giving you day-to-day life example. Tamogun is necessary for the sleep. Suppose if I don't sleep, then what's going to happen? It's necessary. But then, out of 24 hours, if I like to sleep for 14 hours, then? So who is going to change that? I. Nobody else. And in that context, I told you, on the path of spirituality, you are your own examiner. If I was thinking that, okay, I like to sleep for, I'm just using these terms, 14 hours, right? Okay. Can I decrease it? Can I use the same time for something to do better? And again, who is going to do that? I have to do that. I have to do that. So it's all about to balance. Be it Rajogun, be it. Now we are living in this worldly life. If there is no Rajogun in my life, I won't be able to put efforts to earn, to survive, to support my family. That's also not good. But out of 24 hours, I'm going to put 20 hours just to make money all the time. Money I'm going, it's just an example. Okay? Also not good. So basically, it tells about to balance. And the more we think about it, and the more we try to understand, then we'll be able to achieve the goal. So the karma, the action we are going to do, we won't be able to escape from it. But the more we practice ourselves for the sattva gun, and I always tell, we normally say that, okay, I tell truth, straightforward. Of course, it's a good quality. But can you listen to the truth? To tell somebody truth is one thing, but the same person is going to tell you about you truth. Will you be able to accept that? To tell truth is one thing, but the more development will be to prepare yourself to listen to the truth and mold yourself in that way. હું તો સાચું બોલી દઉં પણ સાચું સાંભળતા આવડે? કોઈ સાચું કહે તો સંભળાય તારાથી? Then you immediately start reacting on it. So these are the things. So karma, action will be there. And that's also again how best we can do it. So though the soul is inactive, detached, imperishable, uniform and unconnected, yet so long as it being attached to nature and its evolute the gross, subtle and causal bodies, wants to derive pleasure and remains helpless under the control of nature. Again, what we focus more, because we need to find the identity. The most important problem in today's time is identity crisis. You want to know everybody. You can give an opinion for everybody. But we don't know about ourselves. In that context, Socrates has told, know thyself. So, with this material thing, we get engaged that this body is me, and I am so involved for that, and the real nature or the real source is forgotten. And that's why the Geeta is, that's why the prayer is, that's why the mala or jap is there, that's why the mandir is there, which can connect you with the source. Sattvam rajastamaithi gunaha prakriti sambhava nivatnandi samabaho dehe dehi namavyayam. That's again Bhagavan is going to tell in 14th chapter. O mighty Arjun, the material energy consists of 3 gunas: sattva, goodness; rajas, passion; and tamas, ignorance. These modes bind the eternal soul to the perishable body. Underline the word, these modes bind the eternal soul to the perishable body. And that's why all the time I give you an example. Creation and creator. That's my all-time favorite example. Creation is good, fine, and that really attracts us. But at some point we must start thinking about the creator, and that's the real path. That will connect ourselves with the source. So in that context it is written here, these modes bind the eternal soul to the perishable body. You consider this perishable body, or you consider the world. Garden, very nice garden, good flower, good fragrance. But that's all are perishable. Whereas I should look for the creator. My goal should be in that direction. That is more important. So this helplessness of the self under the control of nature is due to affinity with nature, affinity with that garden, affinity with that flower. Now I'm just engaged with that. This has also been mentioned in the ninth chapter also, right? So, individual nature is molded by tendencies, and tendencies are born of modes, and modes in their turn evolve from Prakriti. Therefore, to be subjected to nature or modes or Prakriti is one and the same thing. As a matter of fact, subjection to the Prakriti and it evolutes is the root cause of bondage. Bondage, 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 bondage. That binds. And even the wise, when the saint says, say you like to observe the sunrise. Sun salutation is one thing. To pray Lord Sun is one thing. And your like about watching or observing the sunrise is a different thing. So technically, if you watch sunrising daily, probably people will say nothing wrong in it. It's not doing wrong. It's not harming anybody. But as per wise men's explanation, that is also creating a bond. That's also create bondage. And the spirituality says to come out of that bracket. If I have to explain more about that, the cage, be it made by iron, stainless steel, or the gold, but end of the day, cage remains cage. Doesn't matter it's made by the gold or silver or even the platinum. It's still the cage. So, if you are attached to that sunrise, that's going to create bondage. That we need to understand. So it says root cause of all bondage. Doesn't matter. And the saint says you must rise above. You must rise above that. On different occasion has been defined as subjection to time, nature, action, and prakriti, etc. So long as the self does not become free from nature and its mode, does not realize God, it remains helpless. So that's why Socrates says again, know thyself. It remains helpless under the control of modes, time, nature, pleasures, and even persons, property, etc. But when it transcends, rise above, transcends the modes of nature and realizes the self of God, it does not remain helpless. It attains freedom, which is axiomatic. Swami Ramatirth Swami Ramatirth used to introduce himself Vatsaharam. Vatsa means king. King of king, you can say. Vatsaharam himself. So, Swami Ram Tirtha was merely 150 years back. Not so old. Those days, the Britain government was ruling, and in those days the mode of transport was road or the steamers mainly. The plane did not come yet. So Badshaha Ram, Swami Ram Tirth, was traveling from point A to point B, and when he went on the deck, okay, he found that the king of that Britain government is also going to travel in the same steamer. So he withdrew himself, and somebody asked, "Why are you not going in that steamer?" Said, "No, there can be only one Badshah. So I can't travel in that." So that's, you say there is no English word. That is the masti. There is no English word for the masti. That's the self-proud, not ego. Not ego. Self-esteem, you can say. Self-esteem. So, the moment we turn ourselves from the material or the nature and go towards the root, okay, we will not remain helpless. Okay, we will be able to do whatever, or not whatever, what we supposed to do, and to practice our eldersly, our wise men, the saint, the guru tell us to engage more towards the religious spiritual activity. That's why we can disconnect ourselves from the material world and put ourselves towards the nature. Nature means towards the root, which is the final destination. Final destination. So again, there are something which we going to discuss, right? But in today's discussion, whatever you understood, whatever you like, credit goes to all the wise men, all the saints, all the guru, all the scripture. Whatever I have heard, I have read, credit goes to those. Nothing belongs to me. Our main reference book for our Geeta class from the beginning is Swami Ram Sukdas Ji's Sadhak Sanjeevani. Okay, so to credit goes to those people. Chapter 18, verse 73. Nashto moha smrutirlabdha tvat prasadan maya chuta. स्थितोऽस्मि गतसन्देहः करिष्ये वचनं तव